I think in this day and age as a student, a lot of us do know what the Pomodoro technique is. And if you do not know, we've probably heard of it somewhere. Now the question is, as a student, should you be using the Pomodoro technique or should you be using some other study technique? The short answer that I can give you is that it depends completely upon you. And I know that's not the answer you're looking for. So watch this video till the end and decide for yourself whether the Pomodoro technique would suit you or some other study technique would suit you better. But for beginners who find it hard to stay focused, I think the Pomodoro technique is something that would help them immensely. But again, you should watch the whole video and decide for yourself. Now, before we start, I'd just like to explain what the Pomodoro technique actually is. So basically, the Pomodoro technique is where you work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break and you repeat this 4 times. And on the 4th time, you can take a longer break, which is going to be 15 to 30 minutes. Now, the question is that even helpful for you as a student? Well, let's sit down and discuss the benefits and the drawbacks of it and then come to a conclusion. Let's start off with the benefits of it first. So I sat down and wrote 4 benefits and 4 drawbacks for each of them. So the benefits I saw for Pomodoro technique are that it improves. Now there are 4 benefits that I see to it. There is improves focus, improves productivity, allows better time management, and avoids a burnout. Improves focus is something I don't think I need to elaborate on much because it is basically that when you sit down, you know that your break is going to come soon, so you try to focus as much as you can in those 25 minutes. Avoids burnout because when you take a regular break, it prevents mental fatigue and burnout. Number 3 is boosts productivity. So when you break something down into smaller tasks, so for example, if you're doing physics, and physics you're doing electricity. Electricity has 4 subtopics. You can break each of those 4 subtopics into 25-minute blocks, and that will allow better time management. It also boosts productivity, and it does this by breaking something into different time blocks. So like for example, if there's 4 topics in physics, in these 25 minutes, I'm going to study this topic, in these 25 minutes, this topic, and so on, so on. So you know exactly what you're doing, so it boosts your productivity as well. Last but not least, it allows better time management and reduces procrastination. And I think it is very obvious why it does this. At this time, I'm meant to be doing this, and these 5 minutes are going to be breaks. So you're not going to procrastinate in those 25 minutes, but in those 5 minutes, you're going to have your break and you can use your phone. So it also avoids procrastination. Now, let's consider the drawbacks of it. There are 4 drawbacks that I wrote as well on it. So those 4 drawbacks are... Now, there are 4 drawbacks that I could see clearly. The 4 things that I saw is that it can interrupt your flow, cause unnecessary pressure on you, reduces your productivity, and it may not be suitable for all tasks. Now let's take these one by one. Point number 1 is that it can interrupt your flow, and it can do so by the break. So the biggest selling point of the Pomodoro technique is actually one of its biggest drawbacks as well. Because when you start studying or when you start doing work, you become in a flow state. So let's say 15 minutes in, you're in a flow state, you're working, nothing else is coming in your mind except that. But then the 5 minutes of breaks come and then your flow is disrupted. Whereas if you were doing it in a longer block, such as 2 hours, you would have continued your flow state. But when it comes to Pomodoro, you might break your flow state, and due to that, you might not get into the flow state again. It can also cause unnecessary pressure on you. Some people may be pressurized by the ticking clock, which can kind of be counterproductive. However, you can adjust it for yourself. So you can adjust the time limit for yourself. So instead of 25 minutes, you can do 15 minutes and a 10-minute break, or you can do longer. You can adjust it to your liking. It also reduces productivity because when you're studying and the 5-minute break eventually comes, the 5-minute break can eventually turn into a 10-minute, 15-minute, and on and on. So, if you have self-control, it is fine. And last but not least, it is not suitable for all tasks. And what do I mean by this? When I say it's not suitable for all tasks, I mean when you're doing a past paper, for example, for Edexo Pure 1 Maths, a past paper is usually 1 hour and 30 minutes. But the Pomodoro is only 25 minutes or 50 minutes or something like that. So it is not exactly suitable for all tasks because some tasks may require you to work for longer. Such as the example I gave, when you're doing a past paper, it is usually 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes. It depends, from paper to paper, but Pomodoro cannot adjust for that. So that is one drawback I see of it as well. My fireplace was shut off in the background, but it's okay. Let's continue. So now is the main question, which is it useful for students? And in my eyes, yes, it is, as long as you have good self-control over yourself. Especially if you're, struggling with focus and time management. at the start, it can help you a lot. Those who need a proper structure for themselves can use it, and I think it will help the beginners a lot, especially. However, the tasks that need a lot of time to do them, such as past papers, cannot be done using the Pomodoro technique, because the Pomodoro is obviously only for 25 minutes or 50 minutes. But tasks that are longer than that may require you to use another study technique. So overall, in my eyes, if you struggle with, time management, focus, it can be something that you can start off with. But as get professional, you start understanding that you need to do this, and then the Pomodoro won't work for you. But if you're starting and you struggle with focus and time management, to start off, it is a great tool that you can use for productivity. But as you get more productive, I think it is not worth it. It may be worth it for something, tasks like I use for, making flashcards or editing a video. But, for longer tasks, it is not suitable at all. So it is to your liking. I'd say if you're struggling with time management and focus, you should be using it. Start off with it, and then a few months down the line, when you become more productive, you understand that, oh, I have to do this, then you can stop using it. So honestly, use it if you're struggling right now, but do not use it if you're not struggling. So if you know that you can retain your focus and you can work in deep sessions, do not use it. But if you know that you're going to get distracted, then I suggest you use it. But yeah, that's all. Everything I make a video about is obviously subjective from one person to another person. So you have to understand that, does this apply to me? And if it does apply to you, then you can use that technique. But if it doesn't apply to you, then why use it? Anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you understand, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what other videos you might want to see on the channel in the future. And yeah, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you another day very soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.